The story starts with Steve Rogers showing the President of the USA footage of Nazi armies marching into Russia and Europe, killing people in their invasion. He also shows footage where Hitler is shown looking for a magical artifact. The President is then introduced to a team of superpowered individuals brought together to fight for the USA. The team consists of Hourman, Black Canary, Hawkman, and The Flash. It is decided that the team will be led by Wonder Woman. At a park in Metropolis, Barry and Iris are set to have a picnic. Barry spreads the sheets on the ground and speeds up to put everything in place. He asks Iris whether she thinks they'll see Superman, but Iris tells Barry that she thought he was taking a day off. Barry super speeds to get everything needed for the picnic, but Iris finally manages to calm him and tells him to focus. She asks Barry where their relationship is headed, and Barry tells her that he loves her, but that he keeps her a secret to protect her. She tells him that life is dangerous, but that shouldn't stop them from living it. They hear an explosion, and Barry looks at Iris. She smiles and tells him to go do his job. The Flash runs to the explosion scene and finds Superman fighting Brainiac. Brainiac's robots have immobilized Superman, but Flash manages to free him. Flash and Superman decide to team up and defeat Brainiac. Superman lifts a car and moves towards Brainiac, but Brainiac brings out a crystal of kryptonite, which weakens Superman. Superman tells Flash that Brainiac has the kryptonite, but their plan still stays the same. Flash runs towards Brainiac, but Brainiac shoots a kryptonite bullet at Superman. Flash turns back and runs very fast to catch the kryptonite bullet. While he is about to catch the bullet, a portal opens and he runs into it. Dr. Fate's voice guides him, telling him to follow his voice. Wonder Woman and her team are in a war zone, fighting off Nazi armies. She kills the Nazis attacking her while Hawkman asks Wonder Woman whether Steve has arrived. She responds that he hasn't. Hawkman suggests that they leave soon to avoid civilians dying, and that Hourman's time limit is almost over. Wonder Woman tells him that Steve won't let them down, and they'll wait. She tells Hawkman to scan the sky again and report back. Hawkman then flies off. Barry runs out of the portal and collides with Wonder Woman. While he is trying to get up, Wonder Woman lifts him and questions him about where his loyalty lies, but Barry is confused. The Nazi army returns and shoots at them, but she hides herself and Barry behind a building. Black Canary arrives and asks her what they should do. She puts Barry down and tells her to keep an eye on him. She goes to fight the Nazi army. Barry hears some civilians screaming and runs off to help before Black Canary can react. He sees Nazi soldiers about to shoot a reporter and a family. He quickly uses his speed to defeat the soldiers, but runs out of breath after. Wonder Woman and her team arrive at the scene. They question Barry and he tells them that he thinks he is from the future. The group is then attacked by a Nazi fighter plane, but Steve shoots the plane down. Another fighter plane shoots Steve's plane down. Steve's plane is about to crash when Hawkman flies off to save Steve, but Flash judges that he won't make it in time and runs to save Steve as well. Flash runs after him and together they manage to create wind that was able to cushion the crash, saving Steve. Wonder Woman thanks Flash for his help and tells the team to go to the extraction point. Steve tells Wonder Woman that the Nazis are looking for him and will destroy the village. Wonder Woman tells Barry to follow Steve to the extraction point, while she and her team go to fight the Nazis. On their way to the extraction point, Steve tells Barry that the name of Wonder Woman's group is the Justice Society of America. Barry says he has never heard of them, and Steve tells him they are a secret. The Justice Society of America defeats the Nazi army and goes to the extraction point. At the camp, Wonder Woman and the reporter from earlier, named Shakespeare, cook up a story about the incident for the public. Wonder Woman tells him to give all the credit to the soldiers. Barry remarks that Shakespeare's face looks familiar. Steve proposes to Wonder Woman in front of everyone, but she declines his proposal. Everyone but Barry is shocked. Steve tells Barry that she said that she would say yes one day. That's why he proposes every day. The Justice Society of America holds a roundtable meeting on how to end the war. Steve presents the intel he intercepted from the Nazis, but says he cannot decode it, and that there is a lead on one person who can. Wonder Woman welcomes Barry to the Justice Society of America. The group heads to the house where the person who can debug the code is kept. Wonder Woman tells them to stay stealthy and tells Barry that he is with her. The group then split up. Wonder Woman breaks the front door open and some Nazi soldiers start shooting at her. She and Barry quickly beat up the soldiers. They hear a scream coming from deep inside the building and follow it. Hourman and Flash are stuck with Nazi soldiers firing at them. Hourman tells Flash that he is less useful once he has reached the time limit of the Miraclo drug, which enhances his abilities. Flash also tells him that he hasn't been feeling like himself lately. Flash defeats the Nazi soldiers using a speed trick he learned from Barry, while saving Steve from the plane crash. Black Canary tells Hawkman that she is disappointed that nobody remembers them in the future and questions the point of their mission. Hawkman reminds her that they have a life outside of being superheroes. He asks her about her detective boyfriend back in her hometown, but she tells him that she feels he is not the one. They reach the cell where the codebreaker is kept. Shakespeare opens a cell and finds people rotting. Someone coughs from the cell near it and he opens it. The man inside identifies Shakespeare and gives him a package containing a Superman suit. A soldier comes in and shoots Shakespeare. Wonder Woman, Steve, and Barry enter and knock the soldier out. They are surprised that Shakespeare survived without a scratch. Black Canary and Hawkman try to force the cell door open, but without success. Hourman and Flash meet them there, and together they break the door open. They see the codebreaker on a chair, terribly tortured and talking to himself. Hawkman immediately recognizes him and rushes to his side. The codebreaker turns out to be Dr. Fate, but without his helmet on. His helmet is placed in front of him. Hawkman gives him the intel written on a piece of paper and pleads with him to decode it for them. Wonder Woman questions Shakespeare, but he tells them that his name is Clark Kent. Barry recognizes him and asks whether he followed him through the portal, but Clark is confused. Barry asks about his parents, and Clark tells him that they died when he was 3 in an accident, and he was sent to an orphanage after their deaths. Wonder Woman asks why he didn't join them in ending the war, but he tells them he is only after a good story. Barry is surprised. Clark helps the victim out of the building while Barry figures out that he is on another Earth. Dr. Fate shows Hawkman, Hourman, Black Canary, and Flash the coordinates of the Bermuda Triangle. Barry arrives at the room and recognizes Dr. Fate as the person who guided him when he was in the portal. He asks him how he can return to his universe, but Dr. Fate tells him that he has a task he must perform, and that there is a lesson he must learn. He tells Hawkman that he will see his other half again. He then tells the group that they must go, and he and the helmet disappear. The team regroups and decides to go to the Bermuda Triangle to stop Hitler's plans. They get a submarine for their trip, but they are attacked on the way. Part of the submarine engine are damaged. Flash and Barry supercharge the submarine engine while Wonder Woman goes into the ocean to fend off the bombs being thrown at the submarine. She is helped by some Atlantean soldiers, and the submarine is navigated to an outpost of Atlantis. Wonder Woman returns to the submarine and explains to the group that they had some help. The Justice Society of America gets out of the submarine and is met by Charles Halstead, the advisor of the king, who leads them to the king, Arthur. Arthur introduces himself and explains his hatred for the surface world. Wonder Woman manages to convince him to join the war, saying Hitler will come for the underwater world after conquering the surface world. Arthur tells them to follow him because he wants to show them something that may turn the tides of the war in their favor. Arthur locks the team in a prison with Atlantean magic. Charles tells the group that he's the one manipulating the king with his powers. Charles convinces the king to wage war on the surface world. Flash and Barry combine their powers, and Barry manages to phase out of the cage. He interrogates some Atlantean soldiers and comes back to free the others. He tells them the information he got. Wonder Woman tells the team to head out and stop the Atlantean soldiers at the bay, and she and Barry will take care of Arthur and Charles. Steve tells her to be careful and leaves with the rest of the team. Barry and Wonder Woman drive an Atlantean submarine and wear an Atlantean underwater pressure suit to fight Arthur and Charles. Charles convinces Arthur to use his trident to open the gate to the most dangerous beasts in the ocean to wage war on the surface world. And he does. Barry attacks him while he is doing this. Arthur immobilizes Barry by throwing him hard against a rock. Wonder Woman attacks Charles, but he manages to put her under mind control, and she starts fighting Arthur. He punches Wonder Woman hard against a rock, knocking her out. The gates open, and the beasts come out. They take Arthur and Charles along with them. Wonder Woman snaps out of mind control. Steve and the rest of the Justice Society of America start fighting the Atlanteans attacking the bay to protect the civilians. Arthur and Charles arrive with the beast of the ocean. They stand on the giant beast, which destroys the buildings with its tentacles. Black Canary tries to fight it, but is thrown up. Hawkman catches her, but is stabbed by another beast of the ocean, a flying shark-like creature. Hawkman absorbs the impact of their fall. As he dies, he tells Black Canary to promise him she won't give up on life. Black Canary cries, leaves him, and goes back to battle. Wonder Woman attacks Arthur by surprise and punches him off the giant beast. Barry tries to battle the beast. Our man is shot by some Atlantean soldiers when he refuses to surrender, but Steve saves him. Wonder Woman and Arthur are in a fierce battle. Black Canary goes back to the flying beast and takes off her mask. She screams at it with all her might, killing the creature. Shen then collapses. Flash is being chased by the last beast of the ocean, a fast, large, crab-like creature. He collects some bombs and puts them in the creature's mouth. This blows up its internal organs, killing it. Arthur is about to stab Wonder Woman with his trident, but Steve hits him with a car. He is about to hit Steve when Wonder Woman intercepts and punches him, taking his trident. Wonder Woman breaks the trident with her bracelet, but the shockwave sends her and Arthur flying. Arthur snaps back to reality and is ashamed of what he has done. He retreats into the ocean along with the giant beast and his soldiers. Charles stabs Steve and tells the team that the Nazis are on their way. Barry knocks him out. The group sees the Nazi fighter planes on the way, but Superman destroys them. Steve proposes to Wonder Woman, and she says yes. He dies before he can put the ring on her finger. Wonder Woman gives Barry the ring, saying he shouldn't make the same mistake she did. She tells him that tomorrow is never guaranteed. Flash and Barry combine their powers, creating a portal that sends Barry back home. He goes back to when he was chasing the kryptonite bullet. He catches the bullet and throws it back at Brainiac. He and Superman then form an alliance. Back at the park, Barry tells Iris all that happened and proposes to her. She accepts his proposal. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll be back with another interesting movie recap. Until then, take care.